everyone, welcome to our Saturday Stories of Love. With me as usual is Lucy and Sophia, and who's our other little friend? We never really named him, did we?
No, I got him from Tennessee and I just never named him.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna pop them right here.
All right, perfect. So today we have a story about joy. And our story is really kind of exciting because it's got our friend Lucy in it, or a friend named Lucy. But in the meantime, Sophia wants to start out with a verse from her little Bible that she got when she was baptized at Park Place Church. It has her name on it.
It's a rainbow.
So,
I can't see it that well, but it's a rainbow.
so she would like to read a verse from her Bible, and then we will go on to the story.
It's about joy and power because there's highlights. So this is Romans chapter 15, verse 13. I pray that the God who gives hope will fill you with much joy and peace while you trust in Him. Then your hope will overflow by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Okay. Good job. All right, let's get Lucy. And I think what we're going to do is, since Sophia's got this little Bible now, I think we're going to start every one of our stories with a little Bible verse, because this is great for her because she gets to read her Bible.
Depending on what this is.
Correct.
I can read the other one on the other side. I just might not be able to pronounce the name.
But we'll do that. That's fine. Let's just read our...
So at the end of the story...
We'll do the other one. We have a little bit of
Just-
trouble with the pronunciation, but she likes the other verse too.
I
You
can't
go ahead and
spell
read it.
Well, okay, but I can't pronounce it. I'll spell it out. Galatians.
Okay.
It says, what is that?
That's chapter 5, verse 20. Move your finger.
Chapter 5,
Verse 22 to 23.
So, but the Spirit gives love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Which I think is great. So I think that will make this a part of our story because this is a good thing for her too to get into this.
I like the little ones that have the little pictures. I like reading those because I can barely.
That's kind of small writing. All right, let's grab Lucy because Lucy is really going to want to hear this story because it's about Lucy. All right, let's go.
This one, maybe we can read this one after.
All right, let's go get Lucy and we're going to read our story about joy.
This one, the other verse I want to read is not about joy.
All right, you ready? Lucy, this story has got your name in it.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Okay. Not long ago, a little girl named Lucy realized people treated her different than they treated her sisters. It started when their great Aunt Mary came over and said to Lucy's sisters, "My, how beautiful you are, Sally, and oh, you're gorgeous, Bella." And then she came to Lucy and said, "Oh, and you're growing up, Lucy." From then on, Lucy started noticing that all the girls in her mother's magazines and all the women on TV, Lucy thought they all looked very pretty, but their faces and bodies were so different than hers. Lucy's parents said she was beautiful, but she began to think that they were the only ones who thought so. No one else told her so, and when she looked in the mirror, she saw so many things about her face that she wished were different. She wanted a rounder nose like Sally, she wanted less puffy cheeks like Bella's, and sometimes she wanted a whole new body, one that others would look at and say how beautiful. Instead, some kids at school would call her mean things. One girl, Greta, made Lucy feel awful about herself. "Hey, Lucy," she said loud enough for the other kids to hear down the hall. "I didn't know you were a book character." Then she showed Lucy a book called The Ugly Duckling. Yeah, I know, that's the face I'm making too. Lucy had cried for most of the day, but her parents comforted her. They even told her that Greta must not have read the book because The Ugly Duckling was actually a beautiful swan. The mean ducks just hadn't realized it yet. Her parents said Lucy was beautiful, but some people may not see it yet, but someday they will. When she said not wanting to be called ugly even once more. Maybe tomorrow, maybe longer, we don't know, but while you wait, there is a way to help your beauty come out for all to see. How, Lucy said. Love. and serve other people. Bring joy to others. That joy will come back to you. And there's nothing more beautiful than a joyful, loving little girl. So Lucy worked hard at loving and serving and bringing joy to others. And every day she looked in the mirror. After a while, she would smile at herself. After a while, she would smile at herself, and she liked her smile. Her eyes seemed brighter too. Maybe it was working, but her nose and her cheeks were still the same. Still, she tried that day after day until one day she had forgotten all about being called ugly. Her friends, the ones she had loved and served and brought joy to, never called her ugly. Instead, they made her feel happy, and she knew she was important to them. Months later, Dad took Lucy and her sisters to a big tech convention where there were all sorts of the newest technologies and gadgets and gizmos. There were drones and TVs and phones and more, with hundreds of people trying them out booth by booth. Lucy's dad led the way, holding their hands, passing several cool booths. He had his eye on one in particular. He stopped in front of it where a man who was pointing something out that looked like a camera toward the crowd. Behind the man, they saw a giant screen that displayed the device he was pointing to. Lucy gaped at the screen. It showed several people in the crowd who Lucy recognized. She saw Greta's parents, but their bodies were colorless and gray. Inside each of their gray bodies was a fuzzy, colorful shape moving like a cotton ball in the wind. Greta's dad's colorful shape was as big as his head and mostly orange. Her mom's was yellow and slightly smaller. The crowd was in awe as the man behind the device said, "Behold, the brand new first ever Solascope. Those fuzzy shapes are not your intestines. Those are what we've recently eaten. They are, in fact, your souls." The crowd applauded as the man pointed the device toward Greta. Greta's soul shape appeared on the screen. It was black and gnarled and the size of a rotten apple. The crowd gasped and started to giggle. Greta let out a whimper and scampered away. Lucy felt bad for her. She would find her later and see if she could help, but she couldn't leave now. The man was swiveling the device towards her and her sisters. On the screen appeared Lucy's dad's body, and inside his body was the biggest, brightest soul yet, nearly as big as his belly and filled with neon green. Lucy's sister's soul were lively and plump, but rather dull. They seemed disappointed as the man swiveled the device until it pointed towards Lucy. The screen flashed with colors so bright it made the crowd gasp. Colors swirled everywhere, strong and vivid, like a rainbow and a waterfall all in one. It filled the screen and made the man shout, "How beautiful." Lucy was breathless. For a moment, she didn't understand that he had been talking about her. Not her sisters, her. Not her body, not her face, her. The real her had finally been revealed. All that effort she'd spent bringing joy to others had also been bringing joy to her soul. After seeing herself in the Solascope, she would never again believe beauty was only on the outside. Instead, she would try to spread the same joy that had given her soul so much color, and she knew Greta would be a good person to share that with. So what do we think of our story today? I think it has a very big lesson, and what do you think that very big lesson is?
That just because everyone's not the same, everyone's still beautiful.
Exactly, and beauty is not always on the
inside.
No, it's not always on the
outside.
And even though you have that goofy hat on right now, yes, you're beautiful. So do you want to end with one more Bible verse? All right, one more Bible verse, and then we are going to say goodnight to everybody. Go ahead. Oh, that's easy. Go ahead.
So it's John chapter. I can't see it.
Go ahead. It's John.
John chapter.
The first
14,
verse
26.
Good job.
Jesus answered, "If anyone loves me, then he will obey my teaching. My Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him."
So with that, we would like to say goodbye and thank you again for our stories, and we hope you have a great day. What about Lucy? Does Lucy want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.